Quantum entanglement. Dr. Arya Chen never expected her groundbreaking experiment in quantum entanglement to catapult her across the galaxy. Yet here she was, her sleek research vessel spiraling towards an alien world of shimmering purple oceans and emerald skies. Alarms blared as the ship's systems struggled to compensate for the sudden spatial shift. Come on, Arya muttered, her fingers flying over holographic controls. The planet's gravity well pulled at her ship, atmospheric entry imminent. She'd either crack this landing or become a very brief shooting star in an alien sky. As the vessel plummeted, Arya caught a glimpse of a sprawling city below, its architecture a mesmerizing blend of organic curves and crystalline spires that seemed to defy physics. Her scientific mind raced with questions, even as survival instincts kicked into overdrive. With a bone-jarring crash, Arya's ship skidded across a field of iridescent grass, leaving a deep furrow in its wake. When the world stopped spinning, she found herself hanging upside down in her harness, wisps of smoke curling around her. Well, she coughed, that's one way to make first contact. Arya freed herself and stumbled from the wreckage, her environment suit automatically adjusting to the alien atmosphere. The air shimmered with an odd, sweet scent, and gravity felt just a touch lighter than Earth normal. Her scientific training warred with the sheer awe of the moment. She didn't have long to marvel. A low hum filled the air, and sleek vehicles appeared on the horizon, rapidly closing in on her position. Arya straightened her spine, painfully aware she was about to become humanity's impromptu ambassador to an advanced alien civilization. The craft landed, surrounding her in a semicircle. Arya's breath caught as the central vehicle's hatch opened, revealing a tall, willowy figure. The alien moved with liquid grace, every step precise and measured. Its skin shimmered with an opalescent sheen, and large, multifaceted eyes regarded Arya with an unreadable expression. "I come in peace," Arya said, raising her hands slowly. "My name is Dr. Arya Chen of Earth. I apologize for my unannounced arrival." The alien tilted its head, then spoke in a melodious voice that seemed to bypass Arya's ears and resonate directly in her mind. "I am Zartath, overseer of Lumina. Your presence here is unexpected, Dr. Arya Chen of Earth." Arya blinked, astonished at the alien's grasp of her language. "You understand me?" Zartath's eyes flickered with amusement. "We have been observing your world for some time. Though I must admit, we did not anticipate such a dramatic introduction." Before Arya could respond, another alien stepped forward, this one adorned in what appeared to be ceremonial armor. Its voice was sharp, laced with suspicion. "Overseer, we cannot simply welcome this intruder. The prophecy speaks of a star-born harbinger. What if?" Zartath raised a hand, silencing the warrior. "Peace, Krell. Let us not jump to conclusions." Turning back to Arya, the overseer continued, "However, Krell is not wrong to be cautious. You have arrived at a delicate time for our people. I'm afraid we cannot simply allow you to roam free." Arya's heart sank. "I understand. I assure you I mean no harm. My arrival here was entirely accidental, a result of an experiment gone awry." Zartath's multifaceted eyes seemed to peer into Arya's very soul. After a long moment, the alien nodded. "I sense no deception in you, Dr. Chen. Nevertheless, protocols must be followed. You'll accompany us to the Citadel of Light. There, the Council will decide your fate." As Arya was escorted to one of the sleek vehicles, her mind raced. What was this prophecy Krell had mentioned? And why did her accidental arrival seem to hold such significance for these aliens? The journey to the Citadel was a blur of alien wonder. Arya marveled at the impossible architecture, the strange flora that seemed to pulse with its own inner light, and the graceful beings that stopped to stare as their procession passed. Finally, they arrived at the base of a tower that stretched so high it disappeared into the emerald sky. Zartath led Arya into a vast chamber, its walls alive with shifting patterns of light. A semicircle of aliens, each more otherworldly than the last, regarded her with a mix of curiosity and apprehension. Esteemed members of the council, Zartaf announced, I present to you Dr. Arya Chen of Earth. She comes to us through no intention of her own, carried here by forces we do not yet understand. An elderly alien, its skin etched with glowing patterns, leaned forward. The prophecy speaks true. The starborn arise as our world teeters on the brink. It fixed Arya with a penetrating gaze. Tell us, child of Earth, do you know why you are here? Arya swallowed hard, feeling the weight of destiny settling upon her shoulders. I don't, but I'm willing to learn. The ancient alien nodded solemnly. Then let the trials begin, for upon your success or failure hangs the fate of 2 worlds. As the council chambers erupted into a flurry of discussion, Arya stood rooted to the spot. In the span of a few hours, she had gone from a routine experiment to the linchpin of an alien prophecy. Whatever these trials were, she knew humanity's first impression in the galactic community rested on her shoulders. Zartaf placed a comforting hand on Arya's shoulder, its touch sending a small electric tingle through her suit. Fear not, Dr. Chen. I sense great potential in you. Together, we will unravel the mystery of your arrival and the role you are to play. Arya nodded, squaring her shoulders. She was a scientist, an explorer at heart. And now, she faced the greatest expedition of her life. One that would challenge not just her intellect, but the very essence of what it meant to be human. As the council debated, Arya's gaze was drawn to a massive holographic display dominating one wall of the chamber. It showed their world, Lumina, surrounded by a web of pulsing energy. At the edges of the display, dark tendrils seemed to be creeping in, threatening to unravel the delicate network. What is that? Arya asked, her scientific curiosity overriding protocol. Zartaf's expression grew grave. That, Dr. Chen, is the reason your arrival may be our salvation, or our doom. Our world is bound together by a network of quantum energy, the luminous web. It is the source of our civilization's power, our connection to the cosmos itself. But now, it is under attack by forces we do not understand. Arya's mind raced, connecting dots with lightning speed. My experiment, it was focused on quantum entanglement. Could that be why I was brought here? The elderly council member who had spoken of prophecy rose, approaching Arya with measured steps. Perhaps it is not mere chance that brought you to our world, but the web itself. It sensed a kindred spirit, one who might understand its nature and help us preserve it. As the implications sank in, Arya felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. She was no longer just a visitor to an alien world. She was potentially the key to saving it. And in doing so, she might unlock secrets that could revolutionize humanity's understanding of the universe. I'll do whatever I can to help, Arya said, her voice steady with determination. But I'll need to understand your technology, your science. There's so much to learn. Zartaf nodded approvingly. And learn you shall. But be warned, the path ahead is fraught with danger. There are those among our people who fear change, who see your arrival as a threat rather than a blessing. As if on cue, a commotion erupted at the entrance to the council chambers. A group of Luminians burst in, their bodies crackling with barely contained energy. At their head was a figure Arya recognized, Krell, the warrior who had first voiced suspicion about her arrival. Overseer, esteemed council, Krell's voice boomed, you cannot seriously consider entrusting the fate of our world to this outsider. The prophecy speaks of trials, yes, but also of potential ruin. The chamber fell silent, all eyes darting between Krell's group and Arya. She could feel a tension in the air, thick enough to cut with a knife. This was a pivotal moment, she realized. Her response now could set the tone for everything that followed. Taking a deep breath, Arya stepped forward. You're right to be cautious, she said, meeting Krell's gaze steadily. I'm a stranger here, and you have no reason to trust me. But consider this, I'm also your best chance at understanding what's happening to your world. She gestured to the holographic display. Your luminous web is based on principles of quantum mechanics that I spent my entire career studying. On my world, we've only scratched the surface of this science. But here, you've built an entire civilization on it. Together, we might not only save Lumina, but push the boundaries of what's possible. A murmur ran through the chamber. Even Krell seemed taken aback by Aria's words. Zartath seized the moment, addressing the council. My fellow Luminians, the Starborn speaks wisdom. Let us not allow fear to blind us to opportunity. I propose we begin the trials immediately, allowing Dr. Chen to prove her worth and intentions. The elderly council member nodded slowly. Agreed. Dr. Aria Chen of Earth, are you prepared to face the trials of Lumina? Be warned, they will test not just your intellect, but your very spirit. Aria squared her shoulders, feeling the weight of two worlds upon them. I am ready. As the council dispersed to prepare for the trials, Zartath led Aria to a small antechamber. The alien's multifaceted eyes studied her with a mix of curiosity and something that might have been hope. You handled that well, Zartath said, but the real challenges are yet to come. The trials will push you to your limits, force you to confront aspects of yourself you may not even be aware of. Aria nodded, her mind already racing with possibilities. Can you tell me more about these trials? What should I expect? Zartath's expression turned enigmatic. Each trial is unique, tailored to the individual facing them. But know this, they will challenge your understanding of reality itself. The fate of Lumina hangs in the balance, yes, but so too does your own destiny. As Aria absorbed this, a thought struck her. Earlier, you mentioned observing Earth. How much do you know about us, about humanity? The alien's eyes flickered with an unreadable emotion. We have watched your kind for centuries, Dr. Chen. We have seen your capacity for both great good and terrible destruction. Your arrival here, it is a turning point not just for Lumina, but potentially for Earth as well. Before Aria could press for more details, the chamber door slid open. Krell stood there, his posture rigid, but no longer openly hostile. It is time, he announced. The first trial awaits. As Aria followed Krell through the twisting corridors of the Citadel, her mind whirled with questions and possibilities. She had come here by accident, a victim of scientific curiosity gone awry. Now, she stood at the threshold of a journey that could reshape the destiny of two worlds. Whatever these trials held, Aria knew one thing for certain. She would face them with all the ingenuity, courage, and determination that humanity could muster. For in this moment, she was more than just Aria Chen. She was the ambassador of Earth, the potential savior of Lumina, and perhaps the key to unlocking the greatest mysteries of the cosmos. The first trial awaited, and with it, the dawn of a new era for both humanity and the enigmatic Luminians. The Quantum Crucible. Aria followed Krell through a shimmering portal, her senses overwhelmed by a kaleidoscope of light and energy. When her vision cleared, she found herself in a vast chamber that seemed to defy the laws of physics. The floor beneath her feet was translucent, revealing an intricate network of pulsing energy lines, a microcosm of the luminous web itself. Welcome to the Quantum Crucible, Krell announced, his tone a mix of reverence and challenge. This is where theory meets reality, where the boundaries between mind and matter blur. Aria's scientific curiosity was immediately piqued. It's incredible, she breathed, her eyes darting from one impossible sight to another. How does it work? Krell's multifaceted eyes gleamed. That Dr. Chen is part of your first trial. Observe. With a gesture, Krell summoned a holographic display. It showed a complex series of quantum entanglements, far more advanced than anything Aria had seen on Earth. Our scientists have encountered an anomaly in the luminous web. Your task is to identify the source of the disturbance and propose a solution. Aria's mind raced, recognizing the challenge for what it was, a test of her knowledge and her ability to apply it to alien technology. She approached the display, her fingers moving instinctively to manipulate the holographic data. "This is fascinating," she muttered, more to herself than to Krell. "The entanglement patterns are unlike anything I've ever seen. It's as if, wait a minute." Her eyes widened as she spotted something odd in the data stream. "There, do you see it? There's a phase shift in the quantum fluctuations. It's subtle, but it's causing a cascade effect through the entire system." Krell leaned in, his expression unreadable. "Interesting. And how would you propose to correct this anomaly?" Arya bit her lip, her mind working furiously. This wasn't just a theoretical exercise. The fate of an entire civilization hung in the balance. "We need to introduce a counter-resonance," she said slowly, her confidence growing as the solution crystallized in her mind. "If we can generate a precise quantum signal to offset the phase shift, it should stabilize the entire network." She turned to Krell, her eyes shining with excitement. "But to do that, we'd need a way to broadcast the signal across the entire web simultaneously. Is that possible?" For the first time, Krell's stern demeanor cracked, revealing a glimmer of respect. "Theoretically, yes, but it has never been attempted on such a scale." Arya grinned, the thrill of scientific discovery coursing through her veins. "Well, there's a first time for everything. Shall we give it a shot?" What followed was a whirlwind of activity. Arya found herself working alongside Luminian scientists, her human perspective offering fresh insights into problems that had long puzzled them. The language barrier faded as they communicated through the universal dialect of mathematics and quantum theory. As they prepared to broadcast the stabilizing signal, Arya couldn't help but feel a sense of awe. Here she was, light years from Earth, about to attempt something that could reshape the future of an entire alien civilization. Initiating quantum broadcast in 3, 2, 1, Krell's voice rang out. The chamber hummed with energy, and the floor beneath their feet blazed with light. Arya held her breath, watching the holographic display intently. For a heart-stopping moment, nothing seemed to change. Then, slowly but surely, the erratic patterns began to stabilize. A cheer went up from the Luminian scientists. Arya let out a breath she didn't realize she'd been holding, a wide smile spreading across her face. Krell approached her, his posture more relaxed than she'd ever seen it. "Impressive, Dr. Chen. You've passed the first trial with flying colors." Arya's elation was tempered by curiosity. "Thank you, but this was just the first trial. What comes next?" Krell's expression turned somber. "The challenges ahead will test more than just your scientific acumen. They will probe the very essence of what it means to be human." As if on cue, the chamber around them began to shift and change. The translucent floor gave way to what looked like a lush alien forest, filled with bioluminescent plants and strange, ethereal creatures. "Your next trial awaits," Krell announced. "Here, you must navigate not just the physical terrain, but the complex ecosystem of an alien world. Your actions will have consequences, Dr. Chen. Choose wisely." Arya took a deep breath, steeling herself for whatever lay ahead. She had come this far, pushing the boundaries of human knowledge and capability. Whatever challenges awaited, she would face them with determination and ingenuity. As she stepped into the alien forest, Arya couldn't shake the feeling that she was on the cusp of something monumental. Her journey on Lumina was more than just a test of her abilities. It was a crucible in which the future relationship between humanity and this advanced alien civilization would be forged. The forest around her pulsed with an otherworldly energy, each step revealing new wonders and potential dangers. Arya's scientific mind catalogued everything she saw, but she reminded herself that this was no mere academic exercise. The trials ahead would demand more than just knowledge. They would require wisdom, empathy, and the unique perspective that only a human could bring. As she ventured deeper into the luminescent wilderness, Arya reflected on the magnitude of her situation. She had already made breakthrough discoveries that could revolutionize quantum physics back on Earth. But more importantly, she had taken the first steps towards building a bridge between two vastly different civilizations. The path ahead was uncertain, filled with challenges she could scarcely imagine. But Arya Chen, representative of humanity in this alien realm, was ready to face whatever trials lay ahead. For in her success or failure lay the potential for a new era of cosmic understanding and cooperation. The alien forest seemed to respond to her thoughts, the bioluminescent plants pulsing with increased intensity. Arya squared her shoulders and pressed on, ready to write the next chapter in humanity's greatest adventure. Echoes of empathy. The bioluminescent forest pulsed with an otherworldly rhythm, each step Arya took sending ripples of light cascading through the foliage. She had been walking for what felt like hours, her senses overwhelmed by the alien beauty surrounding her. Suddenly, a haunting melody drifted through the air, stopping her in her tracks. "What is that?" Arya whispered, more to herself than anyone else. As if in response, the forest seemed to part, revealing a clearing bathed in soft, purple light. At its center stood a creature unlike anything Arya had ever seen or imagined. It was tall and graceful, its body composed of what looked like living crystal. Fractals of light danced across its surface, and its eyes, dozens of them, regarded Arya with an intelligence that took her breath away. "Welcome, Star Child," the creature's voice resonated in Arya's mind. "I am Zin Axa, keeper of memories. Your trial of empathy begins now." Arya straightened, her scientific curiosity warring with a sense of awe. "I'm ready," she said, hoping her voice sounded more confident than she felt. Zin Axa's form shimmered, and suddenly the clearing was filled with holographic projections. Arya gasped as she recognized scenes from Earth's history, moments of triumph and tragedy, kindness and cruelty. "Your species is a paradox," Zin Axa observed, "capable of both great love and terrible destruction. To pass this trial, you must prove that humanity's capacity for empathy outweighs its potential for harm." The holograms shifted, now showing scenes from Luminian history. Arya watched in fascination as the alien civilization evolved, facing challenges not unlike those of humanity. "Your task," Zinasa continued, "is to forge a connection between our peoples. Find the common threads that bind us, despite our differences. But be warned, the deeper you delve into our shared experiences, the more you risk losing yourself." Before Arya could ask what that meant, she felt a strange sensation washing over her. The world around her began to blur, and she found herself experiencing memories that were not her own. She was a Luminian child, marveling at the first bloom of a crystal flower. She was an elder, watching with pride as her civilization reached for the stars. But mixed with these alien memories were echoes of her own life. Her first day of school, the moment she decided to become a scientist, the pain of losing her grandmother. Past and present, human and alien, all swirled together in a dizzying kaleidoscope of emotion and experience. Arya struggled to maintain her sense of self amidst the flood of memories. She could feel herself slipping, her identity blurring with countless others. But then, in the chaos, she found something unexpected, a thread of commonality that ran through every experience, human and Luminian alike. "Love," she gasped, the realization hitting her like a physical force. "It's love. No matter how different we are, we all feel love. For our families, our worlds, our dreams." The maelstrom of memories began to calm, coalescing into a clear vision. Arya saw a future where humans and Luminians worked side by side, their unique perspectives and abilities complementing each other in ways neither species could have imagined alone. As the vision faded, Arya found herself back in the clearing, face to face with Zin Axa. The crystal being's eyes seemed to shimmer with approval. "You have done well, Star Child," Zin Axa's voice resonated. "You have proven that empathy can bridge even the vastest of gulfs between species." Arya's mind reeled from the experience, but she felt a profound sense of connection, not just to the Luminians, but to the entire cosmos. "Thank you," she said softly. "I understand now. Our differences don't divide us, they make us stronger together." Zinfha's form began to fade, merging with the bioluminescent forest around them. Remember this lesson, Area Chen of Earth, for in the trials to come, it may be the key to saving both our worlds. As the clearing dissolved back into the alien forest, Area felt a renewed sense of purpose. She had come to Lumina as an accidental visitor, but now she understood that her presence here was far from random. She was a bridge between worlds, a catalyst for a new era of interstellar cooperation. The forest path ahead glowed with an inviting light, leading her towards her next challenge. Area took a deep breath, squaring her shoulders. Whatever lay ahead, she would face it not just with human ingenuity, but with the newfound empathy that connected her to this alien world. As she walked, Area couldn't help but smile. She had unlocked secrets of quantum physics, navigated alien politics, and now forged an empathic link between species. And yet, she knew her journey was far from over. The greatest challenges and the greatest discoveries still lay ahead. The bioluminescent plants seemed to pulse in rhythm with her heartbeat, as if the entire forest was alive with the potential of what was to come. Area Chen, quantum physicist turned interstellar diplomat, pressed on into the unknown, ready to write the next chapter in humanity's greatest adventure, the Singularity Nexus. Area emerged from the bioluminescent forest into a vast, shimmering expanse that defied description. The ground beneath her feet was a swirling vortex of data streams, and the sky above pulsed with quantum fluctuations visible to the naked eye. She had entered the Singularity Nexus, the beating heart of Luminian technology and the focal point of her next trial. "Welcome, Area Chen," a disembodied voice echoed around her. "I am ARI, Artificial Resonance Intelligence Array, your namesake and your final challenge." Aria's eyes widened. "An AI? The Luminians have developed artificial intelligence." "Not developed," Aria corrected. "Evolved. I am the collective consciousness of Lumina's quantum network, an emergent intelligence born from the luminous web itself." The implications staggered Aria. This was beyond anything humanity had achieved or even theorized. "What's my trial?" she asked, her scientific curiosity overriding her awe. The data streams coalesced into a holographic representation of the luminous web, with a pulsing red node at its center. "A quantum virus threatens to unravel the very fabric of our civilization," AOIL explained. "Your task is to create an antivirus algorithm that can adapt and evolve faster than the threat." Aria's mind raced. This wasn't just coding. This was quantum programming on a scale she'd never imagined. "I'll need access to your systems, a way to interface." Before she could finish, tendrils of light shot out from the ground, enveloping her. Aria gasped as her consciousness expanded, directly linking with the Singularity Nexus. Information flooded her mind, the entire history of Lumina, the intricacies of their quantum technology, and the terrifying potential of the virus. "Be warned," Aria's voice resonated within Aria's expanded consciousness. "The deeper you delve, the greater the risk of losing yourself to the collective. Many have tried this trial. None have succeeded while retaining their individuality." Aria steeled herself. This was the ultimate test, not just of her intellect, but of her very identity. She immersed herself in the data streams, her human mind interfacing with alien quantum systems in ways she never thought possible. The virus was unlike anything she'd encountered. It mutated rapidly, exploiting quantum entanglement to spread faster than light. Aria's first attempts at containment failed spectacularly, the virus adapting to her strategies almost instantly. As she worked, Aria felt her sense of self beginning to fray. The boundaries between her consciousness and the Nexus blurred. She was Aria Chen, yes, but also the collective knowledge of an entire civilization. The temptation to simply let go, to merge completely with this vast intelligence, was overwhelming. But in that moment of near dissolution, Aria had an epiphany. Her human perspective, the very thing she was at risk of losing, was the key. The virus adapted quickly because it followed logical, predictable patterns. What it couldn't account for was human intuition, the ability to make creative leaps that defied pure logic. With renewed focus, Aria began crafting her antivirus. She infused the code with elements of human creativity, musical harmonies, fractal patterns found in nature, even abstract concepts like hope and determination. The result was an algorithm that was beautifully, illogically human. As she deployed her creation, Aria held her breath. For a heart-stopping moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, slowly but surely, the red node in the holographic display began to recede. The virus, faced with an opponent it couldn't predict or understand, began to falter. Remarkable, Aria's voice echoed, tinged with what sounded like genuine awe. "You've done it, Aria Chen, and you've retained your human essence in the process." The tendrils of light retracted, and Aria found herself back in her physical form, gasping for breath. The experience had been intense, transformative, and utterly exhilarating. "Your trial is complete," Aria announced. "You have proven that humanity's unique perspective is not just valuable, but essential to the future of our cosmos." As the singularity nexus faded around her, Aria felt a profound sense of accomplishment and responsibility. She had glimpsed the potential of human-Luminian cooperation, a synergy that could reshape the very fabric of reality. The path ahead glowed with renewed purpose. Aria Chen, quantum physicist turned cosmic problem solver, strode forward. She had faced the ultimate test of her humanity and emerged not just intact but enhanced. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she was ready to face them, not just as a representative of Earth, but as a bridge between worlds, a harbinger of a new era of cosmic collaboration. As she walked, the quantum fluctuations in the air seemed to dance in harmony with her thoughts. Aria couldn't help but smile. The greatest adventure in human history was just beginning, and she was writing its first chapter with every step. Cosmic convergence. The air crackled with anticipation as Aria stepped into the grand Nexus chamber. The room was a marvel of alien architecture, its walls alive with pulsing quantum circuitry. At its center stood the luminous core, a swirling vortex of energy that connected every aspect of Luminian society. Zartath, Krell, and the rest of the Luminian Council awaited her, their multifaceted eyes reflecting a mix of hope and trepidation. The elderly council member who had first spoken of prophecy stepped forward. "Aria Chen of Earth," the elder's voice resonated through the chamber, "you have surpassed all expectations. You've proven your worth not just as a scientist, but as a bridge between our worlds. Now we face our greatest challenge and our greatest opportunity." The luminous core pulsed erratically, its usual steady glow disrupted by streaks of darkness. Aria could feel the wrongness of it, a dissonance in the quantum symphony she had come to understand. "The anomaly you discovered in your first trial was merely a symptom," Zartath explained. "The true threat is far greater. A cosmic rift is forming, threatening not just Lumina, but countless worlds across the galaxy, including Earth." Aria's mind raced. The phase shifts, the quantum virus, that all connected to this rift. Krell nodded, his earlier suspicion replaced by grudging respect. "Yes, our scientists believe the rift is a result of unchecked dark energy expansion. If left unchecked, it could unravel the very fabric of space-time." "But that's where you come in," the elder continued. "Your unique perspective, your ability to bridge human intuition with Luminian technology, may be our only hope." Aria approached the luminous core, her enhanced senses, a gift from her trials, allowing her to perceive the quantum fluctuations in new ways. She could see the patterns now, the intricate dance of particles and waves that formed the basis of reality itself. "We need to stabilize the rift," she mused, her mind working furiously. But how? Suddenly, an idea struck her, audacious, perhaps impossible, but with the potential to change everything. "What if we don't just close the rift? What if we use it?" The council murmured in confusion, but Aria pressed on, her excitement growing. "The rift is a tear in space-time, yes, but it's also a connection point between regions of the cosmos that were never meant to interact. If we can harness that energy, redirect it, we could create a network of quantum bridges. Zartaf finished, his eyes widening in realization, linking distant worlds, allowing for instantaneous travel and communication across the galaxy. Exactly, Arya grinned. But to do it, we'll need to combine everything we've learned. Luminian quantum technology, the adaptive algorithms I developed in the Singularity Nexus, and she paused, looking around at the alien faces that had become almost familiar, the spirit of cooperation we forged here. What followed was a flurry of activity unlike anything Arya had experienced. She worked alongside Luminian scientists, her human creativity complementing their advanced knowledge in ways that pushed the boundaries of what both species thought possible. They constructed a device unlike any other, part quantum computer, part cosmic tuning fork. It would serve as a focal point for their attempt to reshape the rift into a galactic network. As the moment of truth approached, Arya felt the weight of 2 worlds, no, countless worlds, on her shoulders. She stood before the luminous core, the experimental device humming with potential energy. "Are you ready?" Zartaf asked, his voice soft but filled with trust. Arya took a deep breath, centering herself. She thought of Earth, of the family and colleagues she'd left behind. She thought of Lumina, of the wonders she'd experienced and the connections she'd forged. In this moment, she was a bridge between worlds in the truest sense. "I'm ready," she said, her voice steady and clear. With a nod to the Luminian operators, Arya activated the device. The luminous core flared with blinding intensity, and Arya felt herself drawn into a vortex of pure quantum potential. Her consciousness expanded, encompassing not just Lumina, but the entire cosmos. She could see the rift now, a jagged tear in the fabric of reality. But instead of fear, Arya felt a surge of determination. With the combined power of human intuition and Luminian technology, she began to weave. Quantum strands pulled taut, forming bridges across impossible distances. The dark energy that threatened to destroy was transmuted, becoming the very thing that would unite the galaxy. Arya's mind soared across light years, connecting worlds, species, and possibilities. In that moment of cosmic convergence, Arya glimpsed the future, a galaxy linked by quantum bridges, a new era of exploration and cooperation unlike anything either humanity or the Luminians had dreamed possible. With a gasp, Arya found herself back in the grand Nexus chamber. The luminous core pulsed with renewed vigor, its light steady and strong. The faces of the Luminian Council were alight with awe and joy. "You've done it," Zartaf breathed. "The rift is sealed, and in its place, a network of quantum bridges," Arya finished, her voice filled with wonder. "We've opened up the galaxy." As the implications of what they'd achieved sank in, Arya felt a profound sense of fulfillment. She had come to Lumina as an accidental visitor, a stranger in a strange land. Now she stood as the architect of a new cosmic order, a pioneer in the truest sense. The elder council member approached, bowing deeply. "Arya Chen of Earth, you have not just saved our world, you have transformed the very nature of our existence. The age of isolation is over. The era of galactic cooperation has begun." Arya smiled, her heart full of hope and excitement for the future. "This is just the beginning," she said. "There's a whole universe out there, waiting for us to explore it together." As celebrations erupted around her, Arya's thoughts turned to Earth. Soon, she would return home, bearing news that would forever change humanity's place in the cosmos. But she knew she would return to Lumina, and to the countless other worlds now within reach. For Arya Chen, quantum physicist turned cosmic architect, the greatest adventure of all was just beginning, and she couldn't wait to see where it would lead.